I mean, there's not so much time for all the things that we want to do tonight. So for that reason, I don't think we want to spend so much time waiting for other people to join. And I believe that along the way, they will join the class. So please, you know how we run the classes, right? If there's anything that you have, if there's any part you're having challenges, there's something maybe you're trying to hear me, but you can't hear me, or maybe for some reason you can't see my screen. Please, the earlier you call my attention to it, the better. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining once again. Now we're going to get into resume creation tonight. All right, so one of the things why we decided to start sharing this knowledge on resume creation is because of a couple of reasons, right? Now, for somebody who has worked as a human resource, I've scanned several CVs, right? I've seen several CVs that I'm always asking myself that didn't this person read the job description before they applied for this role? You know, a whole lot of things that you're going to see. Somebody's using a driver's resume to apply for maybe a graphics designer resume, you know, all sort of funny stories, right? Things that are not supposed to happen, but then they always happen. And I always say something is that this thing that I want to say right now is that what separates the people who are successful from those who are unsuccessful is information, right? Is information. So when you have the right information, you know exactly how to go about the things you need to go about, and ultimately it will lead to success. All right, it will lead to success. So tonight is all about learning how to craft your own resume, right? How to craft your resume in the way that when clients see your resume, they know that you are the right person for the job. And even when they hire you, they are able to pay you correctly. All right, they're able to pay you correctly. So please, I urge us to pay attention. And if there's any parts you did not hear clearly, you can call my attention to it, or you can even ask questions. All right, that tells me that you're following when you're asking the right questions. Or even if it's not the right question, just ask a question when you feel confused and you need me to explain a part. All right, now, so welcome again to tonight. For those that are just joining, I can see that the numbers are increasing. Welcome once again. All right. So now we're diving into resume creation, but some of us are still wondering what exactly is resume? What is a resume? And I know that you'd have questions like what's the difference between a resume and what's between a resume and a CV, right? But that's not something I want to answer right now. Maybe I can put that, maybe we can put that to the end of, to the end of this class. Now, once again, somebody is asking, how does resume creation, how does it relate with data analysis? Now, how it relates is this. When you learn your data analysis, you know, you're so good at what you do. How will you sell yourself? How will you tell the whole world that you can do this and you have done this before? How do you apply for jobs? It is through your resume. Except, you know, different people have different reasons why they learn things or why they do things. Different people have reasons why maybe your own objective is just to learn it for learning's sake. But there are some people in this class who want to learn data analysis so that they can use it to get better jobs and get better pay. In order for you to achieve that, you need to know how to create your resume in a way that it will align with data analysis. That is what this is all about. All right. So please, I know that everybody understands what I just said. If there's anybody again that asks in the chat box, please feel free to answer the person with what I just said. All right. So that the person doesn't distract us with that kind of question again. All right. So it's a very, very good question. And I know it's because you don't know it. And that's why I'm able to share with you now. All right, now, so let's go into tonight's agenda. What exactly is a resume, right? So a resume is a concise document that summarizes your education, work experience, skills, and achievements. It is the first tool employers use to evaluate your suitability for a role. So most resumes include contact details, a summary or objective, work history, education, skills, and certifications. In essence, your professional life, where you've worked, what you've achieved, your accomplishments, your education, everything must be clearly stated in your resume. And they have to be what? They have to be accurate. That means that you can't misinform. You can't add false data or false information on your resume. That if I put this thing there, right, they'll be able to hire me. No, you must put exactly things that pertain to you, that are related to you, and that are not that are genuine, right? Use genuine information on your resume. Use genuine information on your resume, right? So even if they are asking you for, do you know how to use SQL, and you don't know how to use SQL, all you know how to use is Excel, state it. It's better for them to employ you for doing Excel than for you to say you can do SQL and then they employ you and you can't use SQL. All right. But then I also have a way that I want to share with us tonight. It will seem as though I am going against what I just said, but I will explain the difference to you. Right. So because you can't possibly know everything, but you can try to learn everything. And I'll show you what I mean by that. When we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. So I believe that now we all understand what a resume is. I want to know in the chat box, do we all understand what a resume is now and how it aligns to our success as a data analyst? In the chat box, I want to know real quick, do we all understand the importance of a resume and how it aligns with our success as a data analyst? All right, awesome. I can see a lot of yeses. I can see yeses here and there. All right, thank you very, very much. Now, the theoretical part of this class will not take so long, all right, because we need to focus more on the practical side. So you can see me or you can watch me do what I do for how to create a resume, right? I know I'm supposed to do for cybersecurity, but I felt that, you know, this is not a cybersecurity class, right? Let me align it with data analysis. All right. So let's go into that. We'll get into that shortly. Now, why exactly is a resume important? Don't worry, Muse. I'll come to that at the end of the class. What's the difference between resume and CV? I knew somebody was going to ask. All right. So now, why is a resume important for you as a professional? Right? Why is it so important? It's important because it helps you create that first impression. Before a potential employer or a hiring manager can see you, can invite you for an interview, they go through your CV, they evaluate you, and they come to a conclusion if they want to call you for an interview or not. So your resume is your first impression. All right. And it is often the deciding factor for interviews. This is what would make a potential employer or hiring manager to call you for an interview. The way you wrote your resume, how your resume, see, it's not about the design of the resume. No, it's not about how it is structured, although those things play their own roles too, right? But it is mostly in how you place your content, how you write your content, and how your content aligns with the job. All right. So before I go into the other details about why a resume is important, I feel the need to quickly buttress this, that your resume is not a one size fits all. Although there are 5 jobs that you saw, maybe advertised 5 jobs like that you can possibly apply to or apply for, and they are all saying data analyst role. If you look at the job description properly, you see the differences, and you must tailor your resume for each of all these job applications. You don't want to use a generic resume to apply for that job. The moment you do that, you're trying to use one stone to kill like 5 birds. But trust me, your one stone will likely catch no birds. All right. But when you carefully craft and focus your stone on one bird, you can catch that bird. Your chances of catching that bird will increase. All right. So also, your resume is important because it helps you to showcase your qualifications. It highlights your key skills, your achievements, and your experiences where you've worked. If you have a work history, if you have worked in so many other places before, if you haven't, it just shows your qualifications. It just shows your qualifications. All right. Beyond that, we can use it to show our achievements. That maybe when you worked at company ABC in 2019, you were given, let's say, an award for 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 exemplary performance. You were recognized for your job, like for doing your job so good, so well, and you were given an award. All right, you can easily showcase that in your resume. And trust me, when people who are about to make a decision on hiring you, when they see your accomplishments on your resume, it gives them that it helps them make a better decision. That, okay, this person has done this, and where they worked, they had such such awards. It tells them more about you, that you're a dedicated person and you're somebody who does the job well. All right. And also, a resume is important because it makes it very, very, you have to use a very structured format that can help the employer see the most important information first. For example, you have no reason putting your soft skills over your technical skills. All right. So there's a particular way to arrange your resume that makes it very, very easy for the hiring manager to make a decision, to scan through your documents properly and see the most important things first. Now, it takes an employee, an employer or hiring manager about or less than 10 seconds. All right. So it's important that you use a structured format for your resume. Why? Because this helps a potential employer, or let's just use hiring manager, or let's use HR to cut it short. It helps HR to determine or to see your best information or to see the most important things about you first before they look at the other things. Because trust me, HR will only glance through your documents and within 10 seconds, they've made a decision if they want to read your resume. And these days now, HR does not even spend so much time trying to read through your resume. All they do is scan your resume with ATS, right? With ATS systems, applicant tracking systems. But I'm going to show you a way that you can boost your resume in a way that those ATS systems can rate your resume higher. All right. So I'm going to show you how you can achieve that, because to afford an ATS system might be, maybe not what you want to spend money on right now, but you can leverage other tools that can mimic an ATS system. All right. So your resume is also important because it helps you advance in your career. It helps you advance in your career. So it helps you keep track of your achievements for promotions or new opportunities. So you've worked in company ABC, you've updated your resume to have your company ABC work experience and your impact. Then you move to company XYZ. You also updated your resume. By the time you start sending out your resume to new recruiters and all of that, they see your track record, they see where you've worked, and they're like, okay, come and work with us. You've worked with this company and you've done this and that for them. Come and work with us. And trust me, every new job you take on will always pay than the previous ones. Except you're trying to break into an industry, right? You're just starting out in an industry. You might need to take a pay cut. But trust me, in most cases, it doesn't happen so much. It doesn't happen a lot of times where you'll be needing to take a pay cut, except that is your passion. You really must do that thing. Like, some of us have taken up roles that for us is a do or die affair, right? We must do that job. We love that job so much and we really, really want to do it. So we wouldn't mind taking a pay cut. All right, I've done that before. I can't begin to tell you that story of how I took. In fact, I stopped a job because it wasn't what I wanted. No, it wasn't. It was paying me well, and I was okay, but it wasn't what I wanted to do with life. So I had to move to what I love doing. But trust me, for the first 2 3 months, I wasn't earning a dime. How I survived is between me and my creator. You understand? But in some cases, you might need to take a pay cut or no cut, as long as you know that this area is where I want to grow. This area is where I want to build a career in, right? It makes it very, very easy for you to advance in that career when you're focused on a niche. Say, this is what I want to do. All right. And also, a resume is important in the sense that it's also a networking tool. I know that for some of us, right, even me too, some of our uncles have called us and say, hey, Ife, what's up? How are you doing? You're done with school now, right? You have your resume. Send it to me. I have some people I can share it with. And guess what? You'll be having hope that my uncle has collected my CV, right? And he's helping me to share my resume out to people. And I'll start getting jobs any moment from now. Not knowing that the resume never ever left your uncle's WhatsApp box to any other person. Whereas you're building hopes on the skies, building your mansion in the skies, right? So it's always a funny experience, a funny thing. That's why you must always take charge, take full control of your life. If anybody is offering you a hand, still ensure that you're doing the best you can for yourself. Don't relax and say somebody is helping me out. Nobody's going to help you out like you. So start applying for jobs with your resume now. Don't hold on to this very, very important information. Your resume does not have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent. You have to keep on moving. One day, they also go pay, as we say. All right. And when it starts paying, it pays for life. It pays for life. So start networking with your resume. Go out there. Don't hesitate to go to companies, right? I know people that are looking for jobs that are very, very desperate. We know how we look for jobs, but that was like a long time ago. That can never ever happen again. Where we have to walk down to different locations, different organizations, take buses, have sweats here and there, and just drop in our resume. Anybody can call us. We don't mind. We just dropping resumes. And also, we're also cold calling. We see somebody on LinkedIn that we think that person can help us. We inbox the person directly that this is my resume. I know you're a recruiting manager, you are a hiring manager. This is my resume. This is what I can do. How can I play a part in your company's growth? Right? Whenever you have an opening that aligns with my job, that aligns with what I do, will you consider me for an interview? Right? There's no looking, there's no relaxing, there's no sleeping, there's no dulling. I'll say you must always put out your resume, right? You must always put out your resume. Not one road or route leads into the market. You can always push your resume out there like constantly. It will get tiring, it will get frustrating, but through frustrations, through tiredness, you still got to keep pushing till one day, you will finally be able to give that testimony in your church or in your mosque that, well, I succeeded. All right. So don't wait for anybody to help you give out your resume. Take your resume by yourself, keep on updating it. And sometimes, if you're not getting any job, like if you're not getting called for interviews, despite updating your resume, you yourself look into your resume and ask yourself, why is this resume not getting me interviews? Right? Why is this resume not getting me interviews? All right. Then you tweak again until when you get the exact thing you need, until that very day you get the job. But I guarantee that by the end of this course on resume creation, you will have a deeper insight on how to succeed with sending out your resume. All right. How to get a job, sending out your resume, how you can use your resume to get a job in less than 3 months. All right. So let's move to the platforms or tools you can use in creating your resume. Now, the first one is Canva. These are platforms you can use in creating your resume, right? This is Canva. You can use Canva to create your resume. It is stylish, it is customizable. You have some templates you can use, and they are all visually appealing. And then there's also resume.com. This is a free and easy to use resume builder that allows you build your resume. It is free. And also Canva is free, but it has some paid some paid if you want to become a paid membership, right, you have access to more things and you have access to more designs and all of that. Then we also have Zeti. It's also a very, very good platform for creating resumes, right? For professional templates with customization options. And then we also have Google Docs. Google Docs has their own free templates, very simple to edit and download. And also there is Indeed, which is you can use Indeed to build your own resume, and also you can directly apply for jobs on Indeed, right? It's indeed.com. You can check it out in your own free time. And there's others where we have Novo Resume, CV Maker, Kick Resume, Online Resume Builders, and we also have Microsoft, PowerPoint. You can use all these things to create your own resume. All right. So, but when we want to create our own resume, by now we should already know the tool I would likely use for doing that. So now, here are the steps on how to create your own resume. The steps you need to choose or to follow to create your own resume. All right. The first thing to do is to choose the right format. To choose the right format. Now, we might want to use if we've been working for a very long time and our workflow has been very, very steady. Are you getting it? Like our workflow has been steady. But first things first, before I go into the steps to create a resume, based on what we have discussed so far, what are the importance of a resume? Like we mentioned earlier, what are the importance of a resume? What are the importance of a resume? Real quick in the chat box, so that we can use the next 7 minutes to keep on digesting the steps on how to create a resume. Then we go into the practical aspect of it, how to do it the right way. All right. So I'm still waiting for answers. What are the importance of a resume? What are the importance of a resume? Okay, showcase qualification. Awesome. Thank you for that, Paul. Thank you so much for that. First impression. Thank you, Ngozi. Thank you so much for that. Mustafa gives the first impression about you to HRMs. Perfect. Perfect. It helps us to communicate our skills and qualifications. Perfect. 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 Thank you so much for that, Father. Thank you. Patience, career advancement, personal branding from Ogoina. Thank you for that. Ngozi again talking to tells your employer about you without even seeing you. Thank you. Thank you. Sell yourself from Dominic. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. You guys are amazing, and I'm so glad that you're able to follow along. Now, let's dive into the steps to create a resume. Because while I'm creating this resume, I would rely on you to remind me the steps. All right. I'll rely on you to remind me the steps. All right. So, showcase your achievements. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now, the first thing we want to do is to choose the right format. The format is very important. Like I said earlier on, that when you have your resume structured in a particular way, there's a way when it comes to designs, there's something that we call hierarchy, design hierarchy, meaning that this is what we want the audience or the viewer to see first before they see the next things. So whatever you put at the top is what you want them to notice first, or whichever text you make larger or large is what you want them to see first. It's about design hierarchy. I'm not going into that right now because this is not a graphic design class, right? But I'm trying to make you understand that you can choose what you make very important, right? You can choose priority levels of what you want the viewer to see first, and you can show them what they should focus their attention on the most. All right, now, so the first thing is to choose the right format. Now, we have different approaches: chronological order, functional order, and we can even combine both. Now, what is this chronological order? It's mostly used when you have a steady work history. Like you worked from 2017, you ended that job in 2018, But in 2018, you picked up another job. By 2022, you ended it. And that same 2022, you picked another job. And you're still in that job till today, right? The one you are doing currently is what will be on the top. The one you did previously will be next. And the one you did before that will be next. That is a chronological order. And then we also have a functional approach, whereby, for some of us who don't really have that work experience, because right now you've not really had an experience in data analysis. So you would want to focus on your skills. You'd want to focus on your technical know-hows, what you have done with that skill set. Let's say, for example, you during your learning period, you were able to analyze a data set that had 10,000, let's say a 10,000 data set. You can indicate it in your resume that you analyzed a 10,000 data set. All right. And also, you can also combine both, where you already have a work experience and you're trying to move into another industry or not. You can combine the chronological and functional orders together. And then we have number 2, which is to add contact information. Add your contact information. Now, this thing sounds like, why am I even talking about it? We've experienced this like 1,000 times already, where applicants are sending their resume, their names are on their resume, and their generic location is in their resume. But trust me, there's no phone number and there's no email address. Please, let's assume that candidate is the perfect fit. How do we contact that applicant? So after going through Facebook, after going through LinkedIn, finding that person, which can be tedious on somebody who still has about 500 more applicants to scan their resume. We can't call that village people, right? But to avoid it looking like village people, we can include our names, phone number, emails, LinkedIn accounts, like their LinkedIn links, and generic location. Now, it has to be a generic location. For example, if you live in Accra, Ghana, it should be Accra, Ghana, so that the employers or HR can know your vicinity, can know where you are, and can decide that will it be feasible for this person to come to work from this location. But what you don't want to do is include your exact address for security reasons, like number 5, John Doe Street, Accra, Ghana. Because your resume can end up on the street where somebody is selling suya and they're using your resume to wrap suya, and they can see your exact house address on your resume. Now, if they have ill intentions, they can find you, and a whole lot of things can happen. So to avoid that, just include a generic location, right? Like Accra, Ghana is sufficient. Number 3 is to write a strong summary or objective. There's a major difference between summary and objective. Summary is used when you have experience and you have skills and achievements. You've worked somewhere before, maybe while you worked at company ABC. The story is that when you worked there, you were able to use your data analysis skill set to help them manage resources and have a very good turnaround and make about 20% more profit and cut down expenses by 50% due to your own analysis. I saw a resume which was used to sell coffee broke man. Exactly. So thank you for bringing your own experience into it. It happens a lot, right? So for that reason, you still want to minimize the amount of information you share on your resume because you have no idea where your resume will go. All right. So, like I was explaining about strong summaries or objective, that summaries are for people that are well experienced and that have their skill sets and have accomplished a lot of things in their career. All right. So I worked for company ABC, and in my time with them, I was able to use my skill sets to help them to generate more income by 20%, by 30%. It's a game of numbers. All right, it's a game of numbers. Don't make the mistake of writing your the job description on your resume. Instead, convert it to accomplishments. So maybe when they were saying on the job description, we need somebody that can analyze data. That was the job description. But when you're going to put on your resume that you worked there and you did that job, it should be that in this role, I analyzed and derived insights for over 10,000 data sets. Game of numbers. All right. So what about objective? This is for freshers or career changers. So you should state your goal. Like in the next 5 years, I want to become a data scientist. And I want to use my skill set to help businesses derive meaningful insights from their data and help them to make more money. I mean, who doesn't like the sound of that? If any employer sees that you're open and you're aiming to help them make more money with your skill set, of course, they would want you on board, especially when you have a track record of achieving that thing. So more on steps to creating a resume is your work experience. Your work experience. What if you work as an intern? Should we write it as summary while compiling our resume? Now, that is a very, very good question. Now, if you worked as an intern anyway, as long as you applied your skill sets and you achieved something in that role, it is worthy of using a summary, right? You should use a summary. All right, now, so let's move into the fourth thing, the fourth item, work experience. Indicate your job title, the company you worked for, the date, and the location. And use bullet points with action verbs and measurable results. That when I worked for company ABC in 2019, in this specific role, I was able to help them to cut down costs by 20% and help them to generate more revenue by 50%. It is measurable results. Not that I worked as a data analyst. There's no results there. Right? I went to work every day. I close every day. After I close, my boss sends me to go and buy this and that. I can't. No measurable results that added to the company's growth. So clearly state your achievements in that role. Yes, you can also add leadership positions that you've held before. And from Samuel, as a newbie that you don't have work experience, will you be able to, sorry, I don't think I'm getting that. Hold on. Okay. As a newbie that you don't have work experience with, will be your work experience in your resume? I think I'll need to quickly rephrase that question so that I'm able to interpret it correctly. So number 5 is to include your education, your degree, your field of study, your school, and graduation date. Now, this is important because HR will do background check. HR will do background check when they want to hire you. So you must always insert or use updated information or accurate information on your resume. And number 6 is your skills, a mix of technical skills and soft skills, right? A mix of technical skills and soft skills. The software you know how to use, maybe it's Excel, or maybe it's MySQL, maybe it's the tools, maybe you know how to use Excel very well, and then your soft skills, like communication skills, leadership skills, critical thinking, and all sorts, right? And all sorts. You can include all these things on your resume. As a matter of fact, it is important that you do. All right, it is important that you do. So now let's look at some other things that we can add to our resume, right? Here are the final touches for your resume, the things you can add to it. Certifications and awards. Add relevant ones that boost your credibility. right? Things that can influence the decision of the hiring manager or a client. And number two, which is an optional area, is to include volunteer work or major projects or even languages. These are optional sections. You don't have to put them, but you can also add them to your resume. Okay, thank you for that, Prince, for rephrasing that. So as a newbie that you don't have work experience, what will be your work experience in your resume? That was the question. Yes, now I get it. Thank you so much for rephrasing it. Now the thing there is this: if you don't have work experience, you can use the functional approach for your resume. All right, you can use the functional approach for your resume, stating that this is what I can do, and this is what I can use it to do for you. This is what I can do, and this is what I can use it to do for you. Not that I've worked there before, and this is what I did for them. It's focusing on this is what I can do, and this is what I can use it to do for you. Right? So you use the functional approach. All right, now. So this number three is one of the most important things that I will touch tonight on resume creation. Tailor your resume for each job. Tailor your resume for each job. Adjust keywords and experiences to match the job description. So, like I was saying earlier on, that when it comes to in real life, in other things, you can use one stone to kill two birds. Very, very possible and feasible. But when it comes to job hunting, I beg you, tailor your resume for each job. By doing so, you'll be increasing your chances of getting that job. You'll be increasing your chances of getting that job. No, it's not advisable that you use more than one job title on a resume. You have to pick one job title. And how will you pick this job title? It is picked from the job you are applying to. So if they need data analyst, you use data analyst as your job title. If they are looking for data visualization or visualizer, use data visualizer. So tailor your resume to align with the job you're applying for, right? As many jobs as possible, tailor your resume. And number four, which is very, very critical, is proofread and format. Proofread and format your documents. Eliminate errors, use clean fonts, and be consistent in your spacing and your paragraphs. And your resume should not exceed 2 pages, maximum 2 pages. It was back in those days that we see resume of three pages, 4 pages, 5 pages. I'm like, what is going on? Is this a project? So it's usually very, very hard for recruiting managers to read. As a matter of fact, it's even hard already to read 1 page. How much more 5 pages? They'll just fling it somewhere. I'm sorry, but it's the reality. So keep your documents concise. Keep your resume concise. Ensure that it doesn't have too much words on it, and it's highlighting the points, your achievements. See, to be very, very honest with you, you can do a job that they gave you about 10 items in the job description. Maybe out of the 10 things, you were doing 2 exceptionally well, but the remaining 8, you're trying your best there and it's lagging, you're dragging, you're failing there big time. When you want to apply for a new job, you don't state those 8 things. You focus on your strengths. Those 2. Those 2 are enough to help you succeed in getting that job. Right? The resume we're building today is all about adding as much as possible to your resume. It's about adding the most important things to your resume. You have strengths and you have weaknesses. Why do you want to display your weaknesses when you can display your strength in its full glory? Right? So use your resume to oversell yourself by focusing on your core strengths. All right. So the last page would have been thank you, but I don't think that we're ready to say thank you now. But if I say thank you, that means I have wrapped up with the class. So quickly, let's go to LinkedIn first. Okay, I think I'll take this question first before we go to LinkedIn. And why we're going to LinkedIn is for one reason, to look at jobs and see how we can apply to those jobs. Then I'll take us back to Canva. And also I'll use ChatGPT when we're done with our resume. All right. So I'll take Irene's question and I'll take Muse's question. Then I'll go to LinkedIn so I can look for jobs and check their job descriptions and apply to those jobs. So, Irene, do you mean if I want to apply as a data analyst in a company and digital marketer in another company, I should use different resume? Yes. The more reason why you have to use different resumes. Use different resumes. I mean, think about it. You are applying for a data analyst, right? You have a data analyst resume. You are applying for data analyst resume, data analyst job. Send that one. Then you're now trying to use that same resume to apply for a digital marketing job. They are not going to accept you except they have an opening for data analyst, right? I hope you understand that. So for Muse, please, what is ATS friendly resume? Now, that is one thing that I'm also going to share with us tonight. ATS friendly resume. How to build it. How to build it. So I'll be taking us through how to build it tonight. How to build an ATS friendly resume. So ATS is Applicant Tracking System. That is what human resources use these days. An AI tool that helps them to scan through your application, scan through your resume, and see if you're the right person for that job. All right. So don't worry about that. I'll get to that part. Does it mean you can build many resumes as possible, as many as possible, as many as possible? So let me change my screen. I can take us um to LinkedIn. Let's go and look for job, right? Since we want to apply for jobs. All right, so here we are now, and we're here. Now let's look for data analyst jobs, right? Let's do, I've clicked onto LinkedIn and I've clicked on jobs. Let's click on data analyst jobs and search. Now, there are two ways you can apply on LinkedIn. You can either apply through Easy Apply, but trust me, coming from me to you, don't apply with Easy Apply. Don't apply with Easy Apply. Sometimes, as a matter out of 100%, 0.001 chance that you get a job through Easy Apply. All right. But now let's just focus on this. Let's use this. We can even go down to the company. The company is wider and wise. We can open the link tab in another area. Let's go to and see the company that is actually hiring for that role. Let's see what the company is all about and if we can see their website here on LinkedIn. Okay, so visit websites. Let's visit their websites. So this is their website. Ah, it doesn't really look like a legit website to me. Trust me. It doesn't look like it's a legit website. Looks like not a legit website. Okay, so let's come to job openings. Let's see what they have as openings, if that job still exists there. So they have whatever. This is what we're looking for. business development specialist. Do they have anything like data analyst here? Now, this is how to directly apply to jobs in any company you see. They might have found that person, right? They might have found that person on already. So you having to apply again for the job like a waste of time. So since this is business analyst, let's click on it. It still aligns with data analyst. So look at the general qualifications right here and the job description. So one thing I will do now is we already have the job description, and let's assume that this is the company you want to apply to, right? This is the company you want to apply to. You see this job description, right? You can click on it, you can copy it, and I'll come back to that. But first things first, let's go into Canva and look for, let's look for a template, a resume template we can use. Hold on a bit. So for Secret, thank you for calling my attention to that. Just add the most recent job that you have done, right? The most recent job you have done that mostly aligns with the job you're applying for. It's a lot easier. You might have done 20 things in the past. You can't possibly put 20 things in your resume now, right? You put the most recent ones, right? The most recent ones. So let's look for professional resume, professional resume, and search. If I was using a paid Canva, I will be able to access these types. But let's look for a clean one that we can use that is free. I don't want to use anyone that has pictures, right? But I think I like the design here. This is not a bad design either, and this is not bad. But I want something super simple, so the recruiters can focus on my resume rather than the design. Okay, let's use this one. I think this one is okay. This is good enough. So let's customize this template. So as you can see that this template is good enough. Trust me, it's good enough, right? It has business operations manager, the title of the job. So in this our own, for our own class, we'll call it data analyst, right? Data analyst. Now let's change the names at the top. Let's use John Doe, for example. John Doe. Let's use John Doe. And for the phone number, right? Because contact information has to be on the top. John Doe, let's say 8133. Everybody here has my number already. So 6949 08133 or plus 234 8133716949. And let's do John Doe, John.Doe at gmail.com. The design of your resume is not important, but the structure is very important and the content also very important. Now, if you have, you can add your LinkedIn here, for example, right? Your LinkedIn. You can add your LinkedIn here. Let's say John dot do John dot do slash LinkedIn.com. Then address. Address should be Accra, Ghana. Generic. Now we've gotten those things out of the way. We have the person's name, we have the phone number, we have the email, we have the LinkedIn. As a matter of fact, you can add an additional step to this. You can add your portfolio link. All right, you can add your portfolio link to this. So let's say we want to also add our portfolio link. We can do portfolio, just the way I taught us on portfolio, right? So portfolio link can be, let's say John Doe portfolio on, or let's do it this way, github.com. This might be the link. This is how your portfolio link might look like, right? So now we have the name, we have phone number, we have email address, we have LinkedIn profile, we have portfolio, and then we have location, generic location. It's okay to color a section of your resume, but don't allow the colors to hide the real text, right? Don't allow the colors to hide the real text. So what I want to do now is that to save time, I don't want to be thinking about things to write and having to correct English and all of that right now. Now is not the right time. All right, now is not the right time. So I don't think I really need this part, so I can remove it. I can just add professional experience. 2 to 3 professional experience is enough, or are enough. So now the first thing we want to do is that let's go back to that job that we saw. This is the job description, and so now this is the job, general qualifications and job description. We can copy this and paste it here. I want to apply, you're passing a prompt to ChatGPT. I want to apply for a job, right? And here are their requirements. Let's align my resume with this job requirements and ensure optimized keyword usage for ATS, then we'll pass it into it. So although it will give you different things, right? But of course, this part, we can start editing it one after the other based on who you are, right? That's giving you its own idea of what you should look like. But this is generic. This is not you. This is not information this is not your real information, right? So that's giving you a structure. But what you want to do now is tell ChatGPT, I want to tailor this resume, this this sample to me for this job. What do you require from me to make it happen? Like we did the other day, is to ask you questions, even question and answers. Your current resume or a draft, even if it's rough, I can refine it. Okay, your work experience details for the last 3 to 5 years, your education. Then let's do this as question and answer. Let's make it a question and answer section. Then based on what I provide, create the resume. Good thing that we have AI now. Life is so much easier. And the whole idea of giving you this tool is so that you can do it on your own, right? You can be able to like practice on your own. So what is your current or most recent job title, company name, and date you work there? Okay, what's your current most recent job title? Let's say that my current job title is data analyst, right? And most recent job title, one, data analyst, company name, let's say Digital World Tech Academy, company name and the date you work there. Let's say from May 2021 to till current, till date. Number two, can you list your key responsibilities in that role, especially those related to business analysis, SQL testing, key responsibilities? My key responsibilities are to manage data, derive insights from data, make business decisions, and and so on, right? Do you have any specific achievements in processes by okay with my analysis over time working for company, working for Digital World, I have been able to improve sales and generate revenue by 20%. Okay, then I pass this into it. Then the next thing, okay, next step. One, what was the role you had before Digital World Tech Academy? Okay, let's say this one, I had a human resource business partner, human resource business partner, human resource business partner, let's say to hire, assist to hire the year, let's say 2020 or 2021. 2021, or let's say April 2020 to May 2021. So what were your key responsibilities and any notable achievements? Okay, I employed over over 200 new employees and helped assist to hire, increase the outsourced staff number, which ultimately led to increase in business revenue. So you see how I'm stating it that money was made or money was cut down like expenses. So what else? What degree do you hold? Okay, degree. I'm going to call that. Okay, just say one. BSc Computer Science. BSc Computer Science. Let's say National Open University, or let's do it this way. One says what degree? BSc. Two says Computer Science. Or for the sake of this class, right? Let's just use economics. And I'm also looking at the time so that we're able to do everything in the short period of time. University name and graduation year, let's say University of Lagos. 2019. We'll handle certifications, technical skills, and languages. Okay. So what else? Do you hold any certifications? Yes. So by the end of your program, you should have a certification for data analysis completion program certificates. Certificates. I think that's good. Number two, we have which technical skills are you confident in? Let's say just Excel. Okay, Excel, PowerPoint, PowerPoint, and G Suite. I think that's good enough. So it doesn't look like as if, but for some reason, if you learn SQL in the future, awesome. So number three, aside from English, do you speak any other language? Just English and Yoruba is good. I can't add pidgin English, right? If it is recognized, it's not a global thing. All right. You see that it's not too much, right? As you can see here now, that this resume is now ATS friendly and matches the job description keywords, scope about all that. Now let's come to this professional summary. Copy all this. Now, business analyst and data analyst with 3+ years experience in data-driven decision making, requirements analysis and stakeholder collaboration, skilled in scope evaluation, test scenario creation. Now, aligned all this to the job that I want to apply to. So where are we? Where are we? Where are we? Where are we? Is it here? Okay, here. So we already have a professional summary. We can adjust accordingly. So you know that the job you're applying for is a business analyst, right? Although you're a data analyst or data, you can still leave it as data analyst. But if you're applying for a business analyst job, it should be business analyst. So we'll do that right now. Say business analyst. And I've showed you how you can align your job summary with the job you're applying to. Very, very easy. This way you can do 10 in a day and submit 10 resumes in a day. So let's look at professional experience. The first one was from company where, okay, let's list out core skills first. Uh, core skills, core skills, core skills. I think there's a place for that where we have core skills. Okay, no, we don't have that. I'm going to replace that for this. Let's add this line somewhere here. In case you're wondering how I did that, I clicked on the line and I pressed Ctrl D to duplicate. So let's add this here. I did the same thing again, Ctrl D. And I'm going to type in core skills right here, core skills. Core skills, some text. All right, so we already have our core skills under here. Now let's look at what else we need to add. We need to add things like professional experience. So let's quickly do that. Now we have two jobs that we can put here. You know that now, beyond these two jobs, there are other jobs that you must have done before. There are other jobs that you must have done before, but you don't necessarily have to put all those jobs, right? So let's say professional experience, data analyst at digital world, blah, 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 blah. Okay, we have it here. May 2021 to present, Control X, paste that here. Let's see. Okay, the company goes up top. And let's add the role here, right? Data analyst. Then we had the job accomplishments. So that is for job one. Now we also need to add for job two. So human resource business partner at assist to hire. Okay, I think I need to close this so it doesn't get in the way all the time. So we can do this assist to hire, then the time. So let's add the information from that. Awesome. So we've added those two job roles, business analyst. We've added the names, we've added the summary, and also professional experience. And now we've done for core skills. What do we want to add now? Education. Education. Let's remove all this that we have here. We don't need this here. We don't need all this. So let's bring education up a bit. So education, we have this year, University of Lagos, Control X. So if, I don't see why I need to add my secondary school, but in case you have other degrees, right? You have other degrees, you can, add them to this section. Let's add some other things, right? Like certifications. You can also go ahead to add your soft skills. I think we did that before, where we added core skills. Okay. We can add soft skills, right? Add soft skills and achievements, awards. Somebody's asking me a question. Please, sir, is resume not the same as CV? Don't worry. Hold on. Let's get to the end of this part, right? Then I'll be able to give you more insight on that. All right. So achievements. We can do this part for achievements. So we already have core skills, right? We can also add some soft skills. I'll do that shortly. Maybe after education. Let's duplicate this. Let's bring education down a bit. So let's add soft skills here. Then, since we already have soft skills, let's add soft skills, right? But technically, that should be under. So it looks more arranged properly. So we should have our core skill, okay, professional experience, core skills, and soft skills. Perfect. Just under it. Then education. After education, we should also have achievements, right? Where you worked before, what they said about you, and all that. Achievements and awards. Achievements and awards. All right. So now that we are done with that, now let me show you how to save your resume. There's a way to save your resume so that it also aligns with ATS structure. Now you see the name right here, it has to be changed. And you're going to use underscore to concatenate them together. That is John underscore Doe business analysis resume. And I think they were done with that basically. We've done all that. So let's come down to share and download it as PDF and page 2, right? Download. I think I've already exceeded this ChatGPT's usage for the day. You're out of, okay, let's see if we can still upload a picture, right? Let's try and see if we can upload a picture. Sorry, the document. Okay, let's drag it from here into it. Oh, I think I've exceeded my, no, 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 no. Okay, let me try a new chat and see if it will work. Okay, it won't work. All right, so please hold on a bit. Let me just log out and, use another account. I'm going to pause my screen a bit. Let me log in with another account so that I'll be able to use that feature for ATS. So we have a couple of minutes to go, but I will ensure that I'm still able to wrap up within that time frame. Just hold on, please, while I try to log back into the account. All right, so now I am in. All right, so I hope you can see my screen again. Okay, so now I just have to tell ChatGPT to do me a big favor, right? I have created my resume. I want you to act as an ATS ATS, system and rate my resume and also share and also share areas to improve. All right. So now you don't have money to afford an ATS system. But guess what? ChatGPT can play that role for you. So let's add files and so I'll go to my downloads. That same document I created, I would add it to ChatGPT and tell it to rate the resume. So it's telling us that this resume has 78 out of 100. And it's telling us what we did correctly. But what else can we do to improve it? File format for ATS passing. PDF is fine for many ATS, but some other systems will not pass it correctly. Always keep a DOCX version handy. Two, keyword optimization for specific roles. For business analyst, data analyst roles, and add common ATS keywords like business requirements, documents, use cases, and blah, 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 and so on. Three, consistency in formatting. Job dates are not aligned uniformly. May 2021 to present versus April 2021 to May 2021. Keep formatting consistent. All right. Core skills, break into technical skills and business analytics skills. ATS favors clear grouping. Include tools. So it's going to give you things you can do to improve your resume. All right. And you can still go ahead to tell it to help you go on to improve it. All right. You can still go on to tell it to help you improve that resume. Just so you can increase your score from 78 to 100. All right. Just so you can improve your score from 70 to 100. So this is how you can learn how to create ATS friendly resume. You already have ChatGPT that can mimic that. All you have to do is to tap into that, tap into it, then use it for your own objectives. Use it for your own special purposes. Right. So now I want to take the last question on. Okay, now is the best time to ask more questions, right? Now is the best time to ask more questions. Because right now we've come to the end of tonight's class. So I want to take some questions. Then I'll also answer the difference between the resume and the CV. So when you were describing a CV, right, it's a tailored summary. It's a tailored summary for your skills, experiences, and achievements for a specific job, right? For a specific job. Now, but when it comes to your CV is a comprehensive record of your entire career, academic background, and professional achievements, right? More like a documentation of where you've worked, what you did, what you achieved, right? But your resume is tailored, has to be tailored for a specific job. Okay, that is a very let's see. Okay, now let's see. So thank you for bringing my attention to that. That I only showed you how you can apply. I didn't show you for easy apply. I think I've brought you to the website that owns that job. I showed you how you can navigate to the website that owns the job. So you can click on that page. There should be a call to action button when you're done creating your resume. You click on apply now. Then so you can see that when you click on apply now, it's saying, business analyst. What's your expected salary? Of course, my expected salary is $80,000, right? Do you have experience in business analysis? Let's say yes. Please rate your proficiency. I am advanced. Personal information, you fill your name, you fill whatever they ask you to fill. and you upload your CV. Additional files you can upload, cover letter you should add, right? Using ChatGPT to write your cover letter. But of course, your cover letter should feel original. If you should feel more like as if you wrote it, not like as if it was some machine that wrote it. Then when you're done with that, you click on now different platforms, different approaches. Right. But for this platform, this is how they request it, this is how they require. Then when you're done with all of that, you submit your application, right? You submit your application and wait for a call or some messages of some kind of feedback. You've applied for that job, right? So if it was just me alone that I was doing this, in less than 1 hour, I would have applied for at least 3 jobs using the same logic, using the same processes. All right. So I hope that I've been able to answer your question, Mose. I'm so glad that you found it very insightful, Sikirat. Yeah, they may specify that you share either of the two. Different jobs, different approaches, different needs. All right. So you guys have been amazing so far, and I'm so glad that you waited till the end of the class. Right? It's magical how we're able to compress all these things into less than 2 hours. Right? You guys are amazing, and I'm so happy that I get to share knowledge with you. And I have to call it a night right now because I have to go and obli. Sorry, you don't understand that, but in case you do, it's amazing. So it's time to go and get some rest and enjoy the rest of the weekend. So I'm wishing you all a wonderful evening, and in our next class, you're likely going to start your data analysis classes, your data analysis activities. Thank you so much for that, Mr. Abdusalam. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you, and I wish you all a wonderful night.